When people talk about Sephardic Jews, they are talking about Jewish communities that once lived in the Iberian Peninsula, which is today's Spain and Portugal. The word Sephardic comes from Sepharad, a Hebrew name for that land. For hundreds of years, Jews lived there and built strong communities. They worked as traders, teachers, doctors, poets, and thinkers. They helped shape culture, learning, and daily life. But everything changed in the late 1400s, when Jews were forced to leave Spain and Portugal and spread out across many other regions. Over time, the word Sephardic came to mean more than just Jews from Spain and Portugal. Many Jewish communities in the Middle East and North Africa followed Sephardic religious traditions because Jews who escaped from Spain became their teachers and leaders. Some Jews from Eastern Europe later adopted these customs as well. Today, Sephardic Jews are an important part of the Jewish world, and many of them live in Israel. Jews had lived in Spain and Portugal for a very long time, even back in Roman times. Life was not always fair or safe. Under Roman rule and later under Christian Visigothic kings, Jews were often treated badly. Things changed in the early 700s when Muslim rulers took control of much of the region and created a society called Al-Andalus. During this time, Jews were allowed to practice their religion and manage their own communities, even though they did not have full equality. Compared to earlier periods, life felt more secure. As Al-Andalus became stronger, Jewish life entered a time that many historians later called a Golden Age. Jewish scholars, poets, doctors, and advisors became well known. Hebrew poetry and learning grew, and Jews studied science, medicine, and philosophy. Arabic became the main language used for study and work. Jewish thinkers also learned ideas that had been saved by the Muslim world, including Greek philosophy. Important people served as royal advisors, and poets wrote works that are still read today. Life was not perfect, but Jewish culture was able to grow openly. This time of peace did not last. Political struggles and strict religious views made life difficult again. Some rulers became less tolerant and forced Jews to convert or leave. Many Jewish families escaped to Christian lands or other parts of the Mediterranean. Even during these hard times, Jewish learning continued. One famous Jewish thinker was born in Córdoba, and later became one of the most important figures in Jewish history, even though he spent much of his life moving from place to place. As Christian kingdoms slowly took back land during the Reconquista, more Jews came under Christian rule. Some worked as translators, scholars, and advisors for kings. Certain rulers supported education and translation, which helped bring ancient knowledge into Europe. At the same time, pressure from the church grew stronger. New laws limited where Jews could live, what jobs they could do, what clothes they had to wear, and how they could interact with Christians. Public debates were held that were meant to push Jews to convert. By the late 1300s, violence broke out. In 1391, riots against Jews spread across Spain. Jewish neighborhoods were attacked, synagogues were destroyed, and thousands of Jews were killed. Many others were forced to become Christians just to survive. Entire Jewish communities disappeared. Those who converted were often suspected of secretly following Jewish traditions. The situation became even worse in the 1400s. Preachers traveled from town to town spreading hatred against Jews. New laws judged people by their family background, even if they were Christians. The Spanish Inquisition was created to investigate converted Jews who were accused of secretly practicing Judaism. Fear became part of everyday life, with arrests, torture, and executions. In 1492, after the fall of Granada, the rulers of Spain ordered all Jews to either convert to Christianity or leave the country. Families had only a short time to sell their belongings and leave homes their ancestors had lived in for generations. Many Jews fled to places like Portugal, North Africa, the Ottoman Empire, and Italy. Others converted, some by choice and many by force, and practiced Judaism in secret. Just a few years later, Portugal followed the same path. In 1497, the king ordered all Jews to convert. Children were taken from their parents and baptized, and entire communities were forced to change their religion. Jewish life in Spain and Portugal, which had lasted for over 1,000 years, was almost completely destroyed. Even so, the Sephardic story did not end. Jewish families carried their language, prayers, customs, and memories wherever they went. Many found safety in the Ottoman Empire. They settled in cities like Istanbul, Thessaloniki, Edirne, and Bursa. In just a few decades, Jewish populations in these cities grew quickly. Thessaloniki even became a city where most of the people were Jewish. Some families moved to the city of Safed in the 1500s. Safed became an important center for Jewish learning and spiritual thought. Scholars came from many places, and new prayers, songs, and religious ideas were written there. Jewish laws were written more clearly so that communities everywhere could follow the same traditions. Sephardic Jews also rebuilt their lives in North Africa. Cities like Algiers, Tunis, and Fez became new homes for families who had escaped persecution. Jewish leaders there were known for their knowledge in religion, science, and medicine. Over time, strong Sephardic communities formed across Morocco and nearby areas. Later, when parts of North Africa were ruled by France, Jewish life changed again. In Algeria, Jews were given French citizenship in the late 1800s. When France left Algeria in the 1960s, most Jewish families moved to France. This created new communities, but also led to tension with other groups who shared the same land and history. In many countries, Sephardic Jews became known as doctors, diplomats, advisors, and scholars. Rulers trusted them because they were educated, spoke many languages, and understood different cultures. This helped them gain important positions in governments and royal courts. Not all Jews were able to leave Spain and Portugal. Many who stayed were forced to become Christians to survive. These people were watched closely. Some truly followed Christianity, while others secretly kept Jewish traditions at home. Simple actions, like lighting candles on Friday nights or fasting on Jewish holy days, could bring serious punishment. This secret way of keeping Judaism became known as crypto-Judaism. Spain and Portugal created special courts called Inquisitions to investigate these converts. People were watched by neighbors and even family members. Those accused were questioned harshly and often tortured. Some were executed while others were punished in public. Fear ruled daily life for many generations. Even under this pressure, secret Jewish traditions did not disappear. Some families later escaped to safer places, such as the Ottoman Empire, North Africa, or the Netherlands, where they openly returned to Judaism. Others stayed hidden for hundreds of years. In some isolated towns, Jewish customs were quietly passed down within families until modern times. As Sephardic Jews spread across Europe, new communities formed in places like England and the Netherlands. In London, they became the first Jewish group to settle there in large numbers after many centuries. In Amsterdam, Jewish life grew quickly. Schools and synagogues were built, and education was highly valued. Jewish doctors, merchants, and scholars became important parts of city life, even though some limits still existed. Sephardic Jews also crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Some went to the Americas, settling in places like Brazil, the Caribbean, and North America. They helped build trade, towns, and early Jewish communities. Over time, families moved again as borders and rulers changed, helping create Jewish life in cities that later became major centers, including New York. It is important to understand that the Sephardic identity grew slowly over time. It formed as families from different places shared similar experiences of exile, rebuilding, and survival. Their shared language, customs, and memories helped create a strong sense of community.